Gilgeous-Alexander. McCollum staying with him. Spins, gets inside. Left-handed off the glass. Oh, what a sweet move.
Giddey, tough spot. Backdoor. What a pass. What a play. And J-Dub picks the pocket of Trae Young. He'll take it himself.
This is Dort. You're listening to the Uncontested.
What is up, and welcome to the Uncontested Podcast, coming to you live Sunday, August 27th. I'm your host for the evening, Jacob Niffen. I've got a full squad, starting five with me tonight. Got JD Silva.
Fellas.
Justin Peabody.
Hello, everybody.
Nick Crane.
What it do?
And Tayler Peterson.
Can't decide if I'm a guard or a wing in this five-man lineup.
Six-man.
6-man and a 5-man lineup.
Someone's got to take the job. We are brought to you by the Blue Wire Podcast Network, dailythunder.com. Gentlemen, we finally have some basketball as the FIBA World Cup has started. Moment of truth. Have any of you degenerates stayed up till like 3 a.m. or I guess flip side of that, woken up at 3 a.m. to watch any FIBA basketball?
No.
Only game.
Not.
Yeah. Yeah. Nick was still up last night from a wedding and was able to watch Australia and maybe Canada.
Yeah, here and there. I've definitely not been like up for every single game, watching the entire thing intently, live tweeting. No. But
Casual.
You can certainly get the job done during normal 8 to 5 hours and watch the same game everybody else saw at 3 a.m. So
Fair.
I've watched a lot of it, maybe not live though.
The only one I've watched live was Canada versus France.
It's been the best one.
Because
that was the one I was going to mention.
8:30 a.m. on a Friday. Didn't have much to do. Had it on in the background. Watched Rudy Gobert get absolutely freaking cooked. As much as I hate Rudy Gobert, thank you. France eliminated from the second round of the FIBA tournament.
You love to see it.
Must be rough for Mr. Old Gobert over there. Son of a gun. Let's talk about some of these Thunder players in FIBA real quick, guys. We got to kick it off with Shai. Shai has played 2 games now, one against France, the other against Lebanon. That French game, 27, 13, and 6. And then against Lebanon, 12, 5, and 5. He only played 17 minutes. Pretty much everybody on the Canadian roster got some burn against Lebanon. But I think that France game, we should probably talk a little bit about 27, 13, and 8. Is that what I said?
6.
6?
But still.
Might as well be 8.
Ridiculous.
Really good. Really, really good. I think it's what we hoped to see, what we knew he was capable of, especially in like that third quarter was just a typical Shai takeover. Magical.
A shakeover, if you will.
A shakeover. I will indeed. And to do it against France, like you said, like maybe not as good as some France teams we've gotten accustomed to, but still not nobody. Like it wasn't like he put out that stat line against Lebanon or somebody like that. Against a decent opponent. I think super impressive stuff from Shai.
Also, he had, I think we were talking about this in our Slack. He had 8 points at halftime. It was a pretty slow first half. So he ends up dropping 20 plus in the second half, that third quarter, which is absolutely absurd. And the thing I love, we'll get into Josh Giddey. There are things about Josh Giddey's game that we've been wanting to see from him that kind of resemble Shai. But the thing I love the most about what we saw from Shai, specifically that second half, I saw that 3-point shot. Some logo threes, actually one logo 3, but some step back threes. That 3-point shot is looking more and more refined. And I just can't even imagine if we get the SGA of last season, who was able to consistently hit on off the dribble and catch and shoot threes more frequently than last season. I mean, that is very exciting to think about if you're a Thunder fan. So that's kind of been my biggest takeaway from Team Canada as I watch Shai. And no disrespect to Lou, who's been fine, but Shai's really is the one who's really shined, I think, through these past 2 games.
It's just fun to have Shai in the narrative at all in the offseason. It's like you feel like I can log on Twitter every morning and see people that I trust just analyzing SGA's game and talking about here. Okay, here's what he's improving on. Here's what he's doing. Like Steve Jones keeps doing threads on SGA. It's been awesome to read. It's just fun. Also, no one said they don't call him Leba 1, so I got to throw that out there. Jacob just kind of moved through the Lebanon game before I could drop that one.
Terrible.
Thanks.
We'll get to the Lebanon game in a second.
I was gonna say Lebanon, James.
Oh my god, that was good too.
Move on.
Why is the Middle East catching strays on this podcast right now? Yeah, that
Middle East
third...
is always catching strays. If we're being honest.
Poor choice of words.
Jesus. Silva, play the other sounder.
Which one?
Yours.
Oh, I don't remember 9/11.
Wow. I don't think I've heard that sound before.
Have you not?
How have you not heard that sounder?
Yikes.
That's a great one.
That's an all-timer.
My only sounder.
That's something.
Yeah, that third quarter, Tayler mentioned it, the very deep catch and shoot three. But before that, Shai had like a baseline turnaround fadeaway that should have been an and one. He didn't get the call. The ball went in. Just in a relentless attack of the basket. But even more so, like the defense that Team Canada and Shai being a big part of that played in that second half. I mean, they clamped them up. It was an insanely good performance. Like Canada is really proving themselves to be at least a medal contender in this FIBA tournament. Like maybe playing for gold against possibly the United States. I mean, they've looked
like it.
Really, really good so far. Defensively, especially. And FIBA has different rules and yada, yada. But the fact that their bigs are, who is it? Kelly Olynyk, Dwight Powell. I think that's really all they play.
Off the bench. Like, and to your point, he didn't play until this last game when it was a blowout. Yeah, no, it's a very
to do
good
what
point.
they did, especially at the rim against a team that's anchored by Gobert. It's just fun to see.
And tells you a lot about Gobert, as we like to point out on this podcast. But the other thing too is like without Wiggins, without
Jamal Murray,
and
you don't
without
think Jamal Murray's good, Taylor, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, he's not as good as SGA, and I stand by that point, as FIBA is proving. However,
how many points did Jamal Murray have against France?
That's right, big bad 0.
Unbelievable.
Can't believe
He's
he made
got a
that
ring.
data point.
Shai would have a ring too if he played with with Jokic, but he's playing with Chet. So
Lou Dort in those games. Let me get this pulled up real quick. He had 7 points, 5 rebounds against France. I do not think he played against Lebanon. No stat line for him. The 7 points was on a pretty inefficient shooting night against France, but the defense just still. He had a lot of plays that I was pretty impressed by in that French game, where there'd be a rebound that he didn't really have a chance at, and he would just jump up and bat it into the backcourt and let somebody else grab it and reset the offense. A lot of offensive rebounds like that. Still taking quite a bit of shots, which I don't know if all of those are going to be there for him whenever this next season starts for the Thunder. But Lou Dort just doing Lou Dort things, being very aggressive defensively, shooting a lot of threes. I don't feel like there's been much to take away one way or the other with him.
As a non-analytical aside, Lou Dort rocking is he wearing 0? Did I see that right?
Yeah. The Russell
wearing
Westbrook
0 for FIBA. Yeah. He wore 0 in college, and he talked about how Westbrook was his favorite player, like one of his favorite players. I feel like if not for being on the Thunder, Lou Dort's probably rocking 0 in the NBA.
That's a really good point.
So we have a chance to rock it this year then?
No comment.
Probably
and
not.
No, not a chance. No one's touching that number.
To KD being traded that very same next season. PJ Dozier is wearing number 35. Like
I wasn't talking about an OKC.
I get it. I get it.
Oh yeah. Fair enough.
Nick being Nick.
Give it 5 minutes. It'll catch up to Tayler. We'll get there.
You're talking about trading him. Oh,
we traded him to New York for RJ Barrett, as we've seen.
Oh God! After watching Team Canada,
correct?
Maybe not. Maybe I used to beat the RJ Barrett drum. I have put the drumsticks away though. I am
Dylan
no longer.
Brooks is going to be great in OKC. friends.
Okay, so let's talk about Team
Taylor's
Australia. Yeah, let's talk about Team Australia, who is 1-1. They beat the brakes off of Finland, and then lost a very competitive game this morning, or last night, I guess, to Germany. I think one possession game. Josh did not get the check back in for the final possession, which was kind of strange. I'm not sure what the ruling on that was. But it ended up like they needed a bucket. They had like 6 seconds on the clock. There was a timeout. Josh did not get the check back in. In that first game against Finland, Josh, 14 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. And then last night against Germany, 17 points, 1 rebound, and 3 assists. I did not prep JD for this, but JD, can you try to pull up the Josh Giddey dunk so we can play it here? While he's pulling that up, you guys, any thoughts on Josh?
He's just been more and more aggressive. Like, I think something that you and I talked about, I can't remember if it was Wednesday or last Sunday, Jacob, but we talked about him getting to the free throw line more and more. I don't want to say averaging because I don't have this pulled up, but it seems like at least over the past 2 or 3 games, he's averaging about 6 free throws a game. And that is something we have not seen from, not only have we not seen from Giddey, but that's something that we really wanted to see here. What was it, 2 seasons ago when we talked about SGA and his kind of next leap into superstardom or into stardom in general. So to see Giddey be this aggressive around the rim, getting to the free throw line, very, very exciting, especially when you consider him being kind of like the centerpiece of this Australian offense.
Definitely aggressive. I think that we talked about it before FIBA started. Like, what do you want to see from Josh Giddey? And I think aggressiveness was at the top of my list. I think he's delivering on that so far. I really like the way he's bodying up guys. Whenever we do get the dunk video pulled up, like the stare down afterwards, like I need more of that Josh Giddey in my life. I want to see that come through in the NBA season. My fear is that it won't, but I want to see that like fieriness from Josh every night. We've seen it in small doses. We've seen it in summer league stare downs. We saw it in the Pelicans play-in game. We're seeing it some more now. I think we could see more of it, and I want it. I want it real bad.
Yeah, been over here searching. I think I may have found it. I did. Okay. That's great.
He's also played some really good defense in FIBA so far. There's been some clips circulating, like his defensive rotations. I don't know if Josh, like Nick, and I'd be interested to get your opinion on this. At age 28, age 29, Josh, like as a on-ball, like isolation defender, is he league average? Maybe like half a step behind league average. Like I don't know if he has the foot speed to really be like a really good individual defender, but we talk a lot about his basketball IQ a lot, especially as it relates to the passing. I think that translates to defensively as well. He knows where to rotate, when to cut guys off. He's good at anticipation. That defending within a team concept, I think he's really good at.
Yeah, to be league average, frankly, I think you just have to give the effort. Like most of the guys below league average are just not giving it on that end. I don't know if we'll ever see Josh be a good on-ball defender, but I think the versatility with the size and the ability to hold his own against 4 positions, he'll very easily be over league average, I think.
Do you think, I don't want to get us down a rabbit hole, but Nick, to get your thoughts on this one as well. You say maybe not great on ball, but can body up different types of guys, is kind of versatile on that end. I feel like the Thunder kind of have a handful of guys like that, very versatile defensively. Do you think that lends them to play even more zone moving forward? Use that IQ, that length, being able to guard different positions and not having to really guard in isolation as much?
To your point, Team Australia has been doing that. I have noticed that with Giddey. And I know I'm not Nick. I was just including some context. Team Australia has been running some zone.
Thank you. No, we do see it in the NBA. I think more than we have in the past, where teams are like throwing in zone, like whether it's a team that's getting hot and you want to like throw a different look at them and try to cool them off or give them a different look. Like I think, I don't know if I would say I see them building a team that's going to play a lot of zone, but in those situations where they want to, they certainly can.
Interesting. Silva, we got the dunk.
Yeah. Ready? There's not audio because that's a complicated ordeal.
Do a voiceover.
No, that would require me doing an Australian accent.
Even better.
Nar. Okay, I'm gonna.
Nar.
Sounds like a preseason bets bet.
All right, here we go. And here we go. And
oh my gosh.
Maybe. Here we
what
go.
A tease.
Wowie.
Yes, look at the stare down.
It's a two-handed dunk.
My veins.
The stare down. There's a scream in there and a point.
He actually had 2 dunks. Did you guys see the other one?
I have not seen.
I saw the other one.
That's catching a body right there.
Why not just bring up the second one? This better be.
Oh,
it.
here's the second one. All right.
This is not the second one. It's the next play.
Oh, that's a highlight of.
Good Lord, Taylor's on one tonight.
It might be this one. It is this one.
There it is.
Okay.
Another two-handed dunk.
Another stare down too.
No, that was staring at the ref saying you didn't call a foul.
Hey, I didn't say who he was staring down.
It's true. It's true.
We've seen Shai. We've seen like for a
they got a dunk, yeah.
For a backcourt pairing that's primarily below the rim, despite being pretty large for their like position. They're dunking a lot in this style of play.
Yeah,
I like it.
Not like super explosive athletes, but in FIBA, I've noticed that as well.
I did not pull stats for Davis Bertans.
I got you.
How dare you?
Sorry, guys. I didn't think we wanted to talk.
I think it's a good data point. Like if you're a fan or somebody that's covering the team that is not sure if he fits or hasn't watched him much, like this is a good stage to do so. He didn't play a ton in the first game because it was a blowout. Second game, he was 4 of 10 from 3. So we all know that that's what he does is shoot threes, and you'll take 4 of 10. I mean, he's just a guy that, I mean, I don't know if you guys have watched him, but if anybody has your opinion changed of what he could do for this other team?
It's about what I expected. You know, though, I have zero context of this, so our listeners might make fun of me. But there's some like backwoods ass country dude who like wrote a song that's like #1 now. You know who I'm talking about?
I know
that guy looks exactly like Davis Bertans to me.
Yep.
Doesn't he have a full beard that's like?
It's like red. I know. I'm not.
He just his face looks very much like Davis Bertans to me.
He has red hair. He has
no idea
Davis
what's going on.
It's the head
I've
shape.
Gotcha.
It's the head shape.
Oliver Anthony Music.
Yeah, it's
Richmond, north of
big
Richmond.
rectangle. Yeah.
I don't know. I just saw him and I was like, it kind of looks like.
Sure, I'm seeing this.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm just crazy.
If I can.
Bruh.
Davis Bertans.
Bruh.
From there, I mean, that kind of looks like Davis Bertans.
The face looks like not the beard, obviously, but the face.
Davis Bertans and witness protection.
What'd you say that guy's name was, Taylor?
Oliver Anthony Music.
I mean, that's the name I would give Davis if he was in witness protection.
Right.
Is Music his last name?
100%.
No, that's his.
He's
Spotify
born to play
name,
the guitar.
obviously, But
This like weather person named like Stormy Showers or something like that.
we sure that's a weather person. Or...
Jeez.
Goodness gracious.
Any more FIBA thoughts, guys?
It's basketball.
The regular season. To be
Yeah.
here.
Canada's playing good.
Yep.
France is playing bad.
That's
It's not that I don't
continually
like
good.
the French people. I just don't like Rudy Gobert
Uh-huh.
at all.
Correct.
No.
And so seeing him lose brings me joy.
I do have to continually remind myself that the FIBA 3-point line is not the NBA 3-point line.
Mm-hmm.
Even like when watching Shai, it's like, ooh, yeah, that 3-point stroke looks good. And then I remember, oh, that's just a deep 2.
I didn't know that until this
We'll
very
see.
second.
There's a lot of sounders there.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know. I've never like, I don't know.
The
I just
more
like,
you
he's
know.
shooting threes.
Yeah.
Gotta
So
be
then when you see
gotta
that
be the same.
video of Rudy Gobert sinking threes in practice, just remember that's a deep 2.
Yep.
You can also remember, apparently he hasn't lost his virginity yet. Per his own quote.
It's a good point.
All
I
right,
did
let's
tweet
take-
out though that Ousmane Dieng, like, I cannot believe that he did not make this current iteration of.
He'll be on the next one.
Yeah,
hopefully. He, Koulibaly, Teo Maladone is going to play in the next international tournament.
My God.
Killian Hayes.
All right, let's take our first break of the night. On the other side, we are going to revisit a podcast we did about a year ago and either realize how smart or how dumb we are. We'll be right back. All right, we are back. Gentlemen, last year we did a podcast episode during the offseason where we tried to predict Thunder minutes distribution for a random, like, middle of the season game. We weren't trying to do averages, but we gave the 240 minutes. We tried to figure out how would they be divided up. I want to redo that this year for, let's say, like the game right before Christmas, right? But before we do that, I wanted to revisit our numbers from last year and see how close or how far off we actually were. So, Justin, I believe you have Basketball Reference pulled up with the minutes per game from last season. Is that correct?
I do indeed.
Awesome. So I'm going to go through this list, and I want you guys to kind of react to what our minutes per game were. Our guess was last year. I'm going to go from most minutes down to least minutes, and we're going to see how far off we actually got. The first one, we had SGA at 34 minutes a game.
In reality, SGA played 35.5 minutes per game.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
It's a lot.
I feel like we were
on though.
We were pretty good at that one.
Yep.
Pretty good.
Played a bunch of games too.
Agreed.
Next highest guy we had on our list was Josh Giddey at 33.
In reality, Josh Giddey played 31.1 minutes per game.
Again, pretty close.
Agreed.
And fun fact, I don't think I realized this until looking at these numbers. A team high 76 games for Josh Giddey.
Heck
That's
yeah.
huge.
The next one, we had Lou Dort at 32 minutes per game.
In reality, Mr. Dort played 30.7 minutes per game.
Also not
Gentlemen,
far off.
For what it's worth, we're 3 of 3.
Hey, we'll take it.
We're about to go down the goddamn toilet.
Just wait for number 4.
Nick, have you looked at the spreadsheet or the document that we have? Okay, so you'll know who's next. I wanted to see if you guys hadn't looked yet. 2 guys tied at 26 minutes per game.
Yikes.
Oh man.
Jeremiah Robinson Earl and one Darius Baisley.
Ooh, baby. That's something. We had them both at 26 in our predictions. JRE in reality 18.9 minutes per game, and
Darius how many games?
In
20
43.
43.
Oh, that's more than I thought he played.
43 games, started 20.
Wow.
And then Darius Baisley 15.4 minutes per game in 36 games.
All right, Jacob, get it out. Talk about Baisley.
I remember doing this episode last year, and I said, this is not what I want to happen. This is what I think will happen.
So what have gone with your gut?
For what it's worth, I think we predicted that Baisley was going to be starting. I think we said the starters were going to be Shai, Josh, Lou, Baisley, and JRE.
Darius Baisley started exactly 1 game.
You know what this exercise shows me? The NBA is a long freaking season.
That is true.
A long season.
And that dude put a sock in my mouth tonight. Great for him.
Oh my gosh.
We'll see if Darius Baisley is employed in 2 months.
Wow.
Next, after those two, would be J-Dub at 22 minutes a game.
This is where we were way off. Jalen Williams averaged 30.3 minutes per game.
That's incredible.
The fourth.
Feels like best case scenario. Like
Fourth
we're
of
trying
the
to
30
be
plus.
Our next one was Trey Mann at 20 minutes a game.
Trey Mann 17.7. Not terribly far off.
How many games?
67.
Wow. Okay.
That is
more than I thought.
up there. In the list, that is 7th highest.
Okay.
Thunder player.
Our next one was
the eye test.
Yeah, right.
Agreed.
Definitely. Our next one was Kenrich Williams at 19 minutes a game.
In reality, Kenrich Williams, 22.8.
We're pretty close there.
Close.
Not far off, yeah. Kind of feels like best case scenario again.
5th highest.
After that, we had Alexei Pokashevsky at 17 minutes per game.
Poku's 6th highest on the team last season at 20.6 minutes per game.
How many games?
Which is awesome.
34.
But he played 34 games.
34, which is pretty much the lowest other than Omer Rui, Saric, Sar, and Butler.
Our last one, we had Mike Muscala at 11.
Muscala in reality, 14.5 in 43 games.
Nice. We had Chet at 0 because this was after the injury.
We nailed that one.
We had Jang at 0. We
Jang
had
in
Wiggins.
reality, 14.6 per game.
We had Wiggins at 0.
Wiggins in reality, 18.5 per game.
And we had
missed
Jay Will at 0.
Jay Will, like
Jay
who saw
Will
that coming
way off. Jay Will, 9th highest minutes per game, 18.7 in 49 games.
Basically played the same minutes per game as JRE in almost as many games. That's impressive.
And started 16 more of them.
Ooh, it's a good stat.
How do you guys feel about our predictions last year?
Not super off, like given everything. I don't know, given the context now that we have.
Like injuries.
Now that we know everything.
Yeah, now that we know.
In hindsight,
how it unfolded.
we weren't completely stupid. We were just
injuries
top-
got the part, you know.
The
Like,
top end, we did really well.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah,
we got the
agreed.
top 3.
But that was kind
no
of...
one predicted J-Dub.
Yeah.
Jay Will. No one predicted either Jalen Williams to be as good as they were. The Baisley and JRE feel like big whiffs.
those were the big whiffs.
Yeah.
and I
And
feel
then
like we were onto something with Poku, but the injury really just kind of throws things off. So maybe that's good.
And I
context
think he would have
heading
kept playing at that rate he was had the
Right.
injury not occurred.
Yeah, eventually.
I don't know. What was a bigger miss on our end? The Baisley JRE camp at, 22 a game? Or Wiggins at
26.
0?
Well, I think too, for context, we were not predicting how many minutes per game and sitting here thinking Aaron Wiggins is not playing this year. I think
For
it was
sure.
the same exercise where it's like an early season game, and we're thinking contract year for Bays. He's going to get his run early.
Yep.
He gets
Backup center.
26. You know what I mean? Like that was the context here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get it, Nick.
No, I'm just saying we're
that is good.
I
context.
know.
Very good
Great
data
context.
point.
Important. No, I think I don't think anybody thought Wiggins wasn't playing at all for the entire season.
How many
but
games did Wiggins play last year?
Wiggins played 70 games.
That's incredible.
man,
Yeah.
A lot of people have talked about, like,
So
is he
if
the
I
one that gets
filter-
squeezed out of the rotation moving forward? Like, dude played 70 games last year.
he's really good.
So here is the
A
top
lot.
5. I just filtered. Sorry, maybe you're doing the same thing, Justin.
Go for
Giddy, Giddy at 76 games at 1, Dub at 75 games at 2, Dort 74 games at 3, Isaiah Joe at number 4 with 73 games, and then Aaron Wiggins at 70. For reference, SGA had 68. He's number 6.
That was the one that surprised me most was Isaiah Joe.
We didn't have Isaiah Joe on the list because Isaiah Joe was not on the team when we did
Yeah.
this activity.
Can you give us
Right.
top 5 in total minutes?
Yes.
Total minutes.
Shai,
You got it, Justin.
Giddey, J-Dub, Dort, Isaiah Joe.
Wow.
Man,
What?
Aaron
that is
Wiggins, number
crazy.
6.
Wow.
dude, it was
Okay,
hard to keep
that
Isaiah
might-
Joe off the court. To be fair,
Yeah, that might be some good context
But
for
Wiggins,
Joe
though,
and
six-
Wiggins.
six
Wiggins
most
number
minutes.
6. So I'll keep going just because it's fun. Wiggins number 6. Kenny Hustle number 7. Trey Mann number 8. Jay Will number 9 and JRE number 10
Wow.
total minutes. I would not have expected. Trey Mann is like pretty significantly almost 300 minutes more than Jay Will.
I think what that tells me, and it's one number that doesn't tell the whole story of this season, but
Sure.
if you think about who you would predict to be the top 10 minute getters this season compared to last season, there should be a hell of a lot more talent in this year's top 10.
Totally. Yeah. Especially from 6 through 10.
Yeah.
Justin, real quick. run through the top 10 in total minutes one more time for me? You don't have to list out their minutes. Just go through the list.
Okay. Shai, Giddey, J-Dub, Dort, Joe at 5. Then at 6, Aaron Wiggins, Kenny Hustle, Trey Mann, Jay Will, and JRE.
So if I'm not dumb, which is a very bold assumption,
Big if.
6 of those 10 were second rounders or non-drafted players.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Love a good slide whistle. I think that's accurate.
6 of those 10 were second rounder non-drafted.
That's bananas.
1 was a top 10 draft pick. And Josh. And that's it, I think.
Yeah, and only probably 6 or 7 of those guys are in the top 10 again this year.
That's nuts.
That's wild.
It is wild.
That's where our minutes will come from in this exercise. I've been thinking about that.
6 of the 10 being are non-drafted guys. That's really impressive. Like
it is.
It kind of. I think it tells 2 stories. One is with some of like the guys who would have got more minutes, and 2, we talk a lot about like this Thunder culture and how they develop guys over time, and that is a great example of that. Guys finding their way up the chart, guys getting the opportunity and logging a ton of minutes for a team that was pretty damn good last year.
That's like hearing that stat coupled with, and they made the play in, we're one win away from the playoffs. Like that's impressive to get to squeeze that amount of result out of that talent pool. That alone, again, you can go back and forth on like the luckiness factor or like favor or like one possession games falling your way. Like there's a lot more to a record than face value. But that alone going into the season, in terms of the, like Nick said, the talent level on this team is going to look massively, massively different next season. That in theory, if they were able to squeeze that out of this year's talent, imagine what they can do next year.
It's awesome.
It's all good.
It's very exciting stuff. So you guys want to do this assignment for, let's say, a December game here in about 5 months?
Yes.
Love it.
Let's do it. But first, let's take our second break of the night. On the other side, we are going to break down some minutes. All right, we are back. So if you are watching us live or the replay on YouTube, we have this spreadsheet pulled up. Sylvia, you may want to enlarge that bad boy a little bit. That's what she said.
Yeah.
Come on.
There. Is that better? We good there?
I think that's all right.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen.
To our audio listeners,
we'll talk through it really well for the audio listeners. How do you guys want to go about this? Do we want to start just at the top of the list, or do we want to start with who we think will play the most minutes and kind of work our way down?
Let's start with you telling us how you picked these 17 names.
Oh, spicy.
I put 17 names on there because I didn't want to put two-way guys.
Okay.
I wanted to leave a little bit of openness as far as who might make the roster.
Okay.
And I used my own biases to choose those 17 on who I think will make it.
So why don't you tell the audio listeners who you did not include on the list based on that criteria? First of all, who are the two or the three two-way players?
That are the three-way guys not on the list, Keontae Lindy and Olivier Sarr.
Okay.
And then honestly, I can't even remember who's not on the list because it's so many freaking names.
It's a lot of players.
You don't have Jack White.
That no, I do think I do have Jack White on there.
Yeah, he's on there.
Okay.
Jack White's on there. JRE is on there. Trey Mann is on there.
On there, which makes sense.
Who?
Oladipo.
Yes, I left Oladipo off because he may get cut, and just in December he's not playing basketball probably anyways at that point yet.
He should be healthy by then, but
he may be back. But that's so I left him off of the list for that reason. And then is anyone else I missed?
if they're at 19 now.
I don't think so.
This is hard.
I think I got it right, minus Oladipo.
Johnson, Sarr, and Lindy Waters are the 3 two-ways. Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay.
All right, Nick, where do you want to start at?
Let's start with the fringe guys. Let's go from bottom up.
Kind of thought you said let's start with the French guys.
We could do that too.
All right, Ousmane Dieng it is.
That's a weird place to start, but okay, Nick.
Oui.
In that case, let's go clusters. Let's do like Jack White, JRE, and Bertans.
Are we giving them all zeros?
That's what I was going to say. That feels like
says.
zeros for everybody.
We'll just do this for now.
And since we didn't say it, there are 240 minutes total in a non-overtime game. So our spreadsheet here, we have, I believe this was Nick's handiwork. He did some sort of formula in the spreadsheet. So we have 240 at the bottom of the sheet. And every time we add numbers, it will minus until we get down to the zero. Just for Justin, so we don't have to do the math on our own.
I was told there would be no math.
Can we argue on Bertans a bit?
Yes.
Sure.
I'm with you, Nick.
We give him 7?
7?
Yep.
Easy,
Yes.
buddy.
I am with Nick.
I think he's a guy that can come in with 2.5 minutes before halftime and then, 5 minutes in the middle of the third, hoist 3 or 4 threes, make 2 of them, and be an impact player this year.
I could do that in 4 minutes.
Well, then let's give him 4.
He can do it.
I think it will be closer to 7.
He just plays the last minute of every quarter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just a little fire starter.
Actually, I kind of like it even more if we play him the first minute of every quarter.
Ooh.
Let him start.
Let him start.
And then 1 minute in.
4 minutes.
At the
Timeout.
11-minute mark. Timeout. Get him out.
It's called the Bertans checkpoint.
Sure,
do
we
think
can put
Bertans.
7 minutes in for Bertans as long as we reserve the right to come back and tweak this when we get to the end.
Agreed. Can we also remove the 0 from Chet? It's making me uncomfortable.
Yeah, let me just.
Okay, thank you.
Here, let me go ahead and.
Fair. That is fair.
Wow.
Wait, what?
Buddy.
I'm just.
So there
Silva's
was-
just being a hater.
I'm just being a hater.
For the listeners, most of these were blank, but Chet had a 0, and that was stressing Justin out, and rightfully so. So now he is back at it.
Now
I
he's
just
blank,
had a
but Silva put the 0 on Mitchich because he's a hater.
Oh,
Yes.
hater.
Anyway, who's next
Silva.
on the totem pole?
Let's jump to the top end. We did the very bottom guys. Let's now jump to the very top guys. And let's say, I don't know, who do we think the top 3 minutes getter are going to be? Shai, Dub, Josh?
So last
Probably.
season, Shai had
Yeah.
35.5 minutes per game, and I do not really see that changing at all, even with Chet coming in.
Oh, see, I think that's going down.
Really?
Not significantly, but I think it's going down.
Is
Like
it Yellow and
32?
Timber?
Like 35?
We predicted, what did we predict last year? 32?
34.
34.
I'd go 32 or 33.
Ooh.
33
Seems really low to
seems
me.
Like, yeah.
There's a lot of guys on this team that need minutes.
But you're going to take that away from Shai?
I was just going to say, we're going to come revisit
Like,
that clip.
we
in
had
a year.
Poku
Yeah,
last
no,
season.
like I
that-
get it, but it's like it's like 2 minutes.
I mean,
They-
2
he
minutes
played-
would be 30.
He played
Pretty
if I don't know. While you guys talk through this real quick, I'll pull up the stats.nba.com to give you an idea of how many minutes Shai played, like overall in the league when we compare him to everybody, not just Thunder guys, because I
Fair.
think that'll give us a good barometer.
Definitely fair. But, and I get it. Like, we're going to talk about Chet, and I'm going to want to like throw out an astronomical number probably. And those minutes have to come from somewhere, but I don't see those coming from Shai.
Yeah.
Like, he is that guy. He's continuing to prove that he is that guy. We're talking about that with FIBA basketball. I don't see how you take those minutes away from Shai unless he's injured. So 35.5, I agree. Like last season, that's probably a little high given where the Thunder were. But I don't see it going down much more. Like, he wants to be out there.
Best players in the league play big minutes. That's just facts.
I'm struggling to find minutes.
Unbelievable.
I was really hoping you were going to come
I know.
in.
You just want minutes per game for the top players in the league?
Oh, here we go. I'd have maybe if I take the totals thing off, that'll fix it. Oops. Minutes per game. Shai was 20th in the league, but tied with 4 other guys. You the league to get to somebody who played 36 minutes a game. That would be Ant Edwards, and the most minutes game. We can rule that one. Jay Gilliard played 1 game and played 1 minute. So that was probably the last game of the season against the Thunder. When you omit that,
he played the 4th most total minutes, though.
Jay will be at 19th in the league in per game last season.
What'd you just say, Nick? He played the most total?
4th most.
4th most.
4th most total.
Interesting.
Minutes. That's a good stat.
Oh, I'm curious. I'm sure the Thunder medical staff has an actual answer for this, but let's pretend you're a medical guy here. Would you prefer Shai play 2 less minutes per game all season long, or sit every 11th game, as an example, to cut down?
What would I prefer, or what do I like? I don't think I should give my opinion on like what's medically like a better thing to do, because I have no effing clue.
That's why I said the Thunder staff knows. But what would you prefer?
I would prefer cut the minutes per game down than sitting full games.
I think I disagree. I think those 2 minutes is what is the difference in a game.
Say it again.
I think conventional, or I guess I should say modern NBA wisdom agrees with Nick of sit him for a full game, give him that extra rest, find, back-to-back or something like that to give him that rest day, and don't nickel and dime it over the course of a season.
I think that's probably medically the correct answer. Selfishly, I just say trim it 2 minutes a game.
Sounds like you're in the minority. We going 36?
I think that's how you lose a bunch of games by 1 or 2.
35 feels good, right?
I wouldn't go any more than 35.5. I don't think we go above, but
I'd say 34.
Yeah.
Let's do it. 34.
Okay.
Lock it in.
Boom.
Here we go next. Josh or Dub?
I think I'm going Dub. Is that spicy?
I mean, they're going to be really close. Obviously.
I think they're going to be I think they're going to be within a minute or two.
What if we just say they're equal? Honestly, like I think that is a real scenario.
Like a
I know it's a cop out. I know, but like that seems extremely realistic to me.
It's the Baisley JRE duo this year.
Let's hope not.
But way better.
Should we go
worst comparison?
32 and 31, 32 and 30 on these two guys?
Yes.
I'm good with that.
That's that's almost exactly what they did last year, right?
Yeah. I'm bumping J-Dub up to 32. Keep Giddey at 31.
Okay, 32 and 31.
Yep.
I like that.
At 136 minutes left, so we have Davis. Let's go from least to greatest now. I guess we have Jack White 0, JRE 0, Davis Bertans 7, and you have Josh Giddey at 31, J-Dub 32, SGA 34.
Let's finish out the starters real quick, who we assume will be the starters, which would be Lou Dort and Chet Holmgren.
Yeah.
Oh man, where do we want to start?
I'm going to put Dort slightly down.
What was he at?
He was at 30.7 last year.
I think
31 a game last year. I think that's going down.
I think more than slightly.
Okay.
Because I have a hot take, and I kind of think that maybe we start at Chet, because I think we're going where we land on Chet is probably where we're going to take away minutes from Dort.
Yeah.
Like I see 28, 29 minutes for Chet. And again, total games played maybe plays a factor there.
You said 28 or 29 for Chet?
Yeah. Do you think higher?
I do not.
I think that's a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
I was leaning more 25, 26 personally.
Yeah.
I think they're going to take it easier than I would want them to, as like from a fan perspective. Just like what Jacob was saying, like I just want to watch the guy play. Like that's what I want. Put him out there for 38 minutes a night. I don't care, but really I do care. And
so, can I give you guys some context?
Feels better.
Past 2 drafts, rookie Paulo Banchero, 34 minutes a night. Rookie Evan Mobley, 34 minutes a night. I hadn't looked that up until right now. That was kind of going to be my barometer for Chet.
Those are massive anomalies. Most every other rookie is 31 or below.
Yeah, 34 seems like I don't think
28. Like if
I don't think Chet's playing 34. I maybe would go closer 27, 28. I thought Evan would be a good one, especially because he plays next to another big.
Yeah.
And that's still a lot of minutes for Evan Mobley. That's more than I thought he played his rookie year. That's a lot.
I lean lower. You said 27. I'd go 27.
Let's do 27.
27. Right, 27 for Chet.
Not that this is a good barometer, but like Duran played just over 24 last year.
I actually like that though.
That's very because they also have like 13 bigs and 2 guards.
Right.
So for him to get that is like fighting through all of the other bigs minutes.
Yeah.
All right, Lou Dort. Justin, you said 31 minutes a game last season?
Correct. 30.7.
Can I just throw out a number here and see what your guys' reaction is?
Okay.
You said 31.7. So basically 32.
30.7.
Oh, 30.7. I'm sorry. So basically 31. I'd put him equal with Chet at 27. Drop him 4 minutes.
I was going to say 25.
Oh, I thought I was going to be
down
the low
for that
one.
also, Justin.
25, 27. Silva, what were you thinking at on here?
I am personally down for Justin's suggestion of 25, but I think Mark just trusts Lou Dort a lot, especially late in games, and I think it's going to be more like 27, 28.
Nick?
I'm team lower. I think like 26.
26, kind of in the middle.
26?
26 sounds fair.
Going once. I mean, it's still not like looking in the context of last year, which is hard to do. That drops him from 3rd most minutes to 4th most minutes. Like it's not a crazy change. It sounds like a lot of minutes in theory, but it's not drastic. He's still playing more than most of the other guys on this roster.
How many total minutes do we have left to go around, Silva?
83.
That's not a lot, guys.
Nope.
No. And we only have 6 guys getting minutes right now.
That's how the NBA works, though.
That is.
Yeah. Yep. Do you want to do another guy who could get a good chunk of minutes next, or what do you want? How do you want to do?
Sure. This? We'll go with whoever you want to go with, Silva. You're
how
up.
about Jay Will? Because I feel like this could be one of the last guys with a good chunk here.
Oh.
Nope.
Oh no,
disagree.
no.
I disagree.
I disagree as well. I think there'll be nights where Jay Will play 20, and I think there's going to be nights where Jay Will plays like 5.
Agreed.
Interesting.
But this is a game in December, so what are you going with?
It is.
It kind of depends on which game it is, to be honest.
Let's lump these again.
Actually, so Sean brings up a really good point in the chat.
That's what I'm getting to.
Vasily Micic, and so
let's lump Micic, Jay Will, and Isaiah Joe.
Okay.
It's a good lump.
Would you put Cason Wallace in that group, Nick?
Not in December.
Okay.
Not in December. That's a really good disclaimer. Like that's where this gets tough.
Yeah, this isn't minutes per game. This is a game in December.
If we're talking about April, might be a little different.
Okay, so you said Jay Will, Micic, and Isaiah Joe.
Mm-hmm. And what were their 3 figures last year?
Isaiah Joe, 19.1. Who was the other one?
Jay Will.
Not Micic. Jay Will, thank you. 18.7.
Mitch is 0.
I was like, I know it's not him.
18.7 seems high for Jay Will, considering he's not going to be starting. He's not going to be the only healthy big on the team.
That is high. I also think Isaiah Joe will be a very good shooter this year, but I think we saw late in the season like more realistic numbers for him, like as things evened off a bit. Like if he's shooting 45% like he was early, like he's going to get minutes. But if he's a 38 to 42% kind of guy, I think that's a little different. I would go J. Will 12, Isaiah Joe 12, Mitchich 17.
Wow.
Now again, this we really need like a different filter on this. But if you're looking just at minutes per game, like 12 minutes per game would put them in the ballpark of Sarge, Lindy Waters third at 13.
Well, that's
Jared
average.
Butler 12.8.
Those guys weren't playing 12 minutes a game.
Now Lindy Waters had 41 games at 13 minutes per game. That's more of a sample size. Mike Muscala 43 games, 14 and a half minutes per game. Usman Jang 39 games, 14.6. So we're talking that ballpark. That's probably a good sample size.
I feel okay with that for J. Will. I think
the
like
12?
the J. Will Mike Muscala comparison in terms of role.
I like that. 12 for J. Will. I think J. Will is going to be a better basketball player this year, but not play as much just because of the context of who's on the floor.
It's a good way to put it.
Agreed.
I think Joe's higher
than 12.
Yeah.
I mean, he was 19.1 minutes per game in 73 games played.
I agree. I think it goes down from that.
Just
about like 14
high. But
can I give you my case?
Please, Senator.
We think about Isaiah Joe as a incredible shooter, and he does have the potential to be. Mitchich is a much more proven 3-point shooter than Isaiah Joe, and does a hell of a lot more than Isaiah Joe does, and is
proven
a lot more experienced.
Proven where, Nick?
I mean, shooting a 3-pointer. Like
is it though?
Is it, Nick? I just learned today that
it is.
if you watch point is we haven't seen in the NBA.
Okay,
I just think we've seen good shooters.
He shoots very deep and very advanced shots. That shit translates.
I'm not saying he's going to be bad. I'm just saying it might not be the same.
It's the line on the court has moved.
I can feel the bet brewing.
The NBA pace so much quicker, and he's playing against.
That's what I'm not. Yeah,
many more ball handlers.
Exactly.
Like
Taylor's
how
getting
great of a catch and shoot.
It's not the line. It's not the placement. It's the level of competition. And
now, with that being said,
team role and all that. That it's going to be a new ball game for Mitch. And I'm not saying he's not going to pick it up, but I think to expect a 1-to-1 or even close to 1-to-1 translation, I think is jumping the gun a little bit.
But what skills translate?
What skills translate?
Playmaking,
IQ.
I think his basketball IQ, and then the big question mark is going to be defense. I'm really concerned.
That was the one that I was wanting to get to. Is I think the defense is going to be the deciding factor on some of these minutes for Mitchich as well.
Yeah. I think we've seen it with Mark. Like you gotta play both sides of the ball to be on the floor, and bro's old, and he's coming to the NBA like at a time where, how much can an old dog learn new tricks? Like that's the biggest question mark for me on Mitchich.
I like how Justin says bro's old to the guy that's 4 years younger than him.
Listen, you're not supposed to address that.
Hey, he's 4 years younger than me too.
Like, listen,
how do you do, fellow kids?
Please don't
Nick, for what it's worth,
anything.
I don't know if I'm at the same numbers that you're at, but I think Mitchich plays more than Isaiah Joe.
Agreed.
I don't know what those numbers are, but I think he does play more.
I was going to propose 16 for I was going to propose 15 for Joe and 16 for Mitchich.
It's a lot of guard minutes.
See, that's the issue. Is like
punch that in for now. Punch that in for now, and then let's see where we're at.
We're gonna have to do some editing. We just need to, because we have 42 minutes left now.
42 minutes. I
can make that work.
I'm just gonna say it. Do we put Trey Mann at 0?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
If we have Mitchich and Isaiah Joe and getting those minutes, like I don't know if there's room for Trey.
Yeah, new haircut or not, that's 0 for me.
Yes, fine.
New haircut, new team is what they always say.
Let's do. So Nick has been doing like these groups.
Here's who's left: Kenny Hustle, Poku, Oos, Kaysen Wallace, and Aaron Wiggins.
Since we're doing groups, let's do forward group.
Okay.
Of Kenrich Williams, Alexei Pokuševski, Usman Jang.
So Kenrich had 22.8 minutes per game last season. I
think
see
that
that
goes
going
down a lot.
down.
It's going down.
How much is a lot, Justin?
In this scenario,
Did we say 22.8 last year?
22.8.
again, we've
In a high sample size. Well, I
Beaten
say
this-
high. He was hurt early in the season, so 53 games total.
we've beaten the dead horse that like last year's minutes numbers add up to like double what our minute total is. So like it's not a 1-to-1 comparison. But for the point of this exercise, I'd put Kenny at like, what do we give J Will? 12?
I was thinking like 16-ish for him, like around the Mitchich range. But that could be a lot because we still have.
Feels like a lot.
I'm with Justin because, and look, like, love K Rich.
But
I'm
do
really
it and
high
then
on guys like
see where we're
Usman
at
Jang.
after we add in the other minutes.
Yeah.
How much
And
did you just say for Kenrich?
12 is what Justin said.
I was gonna put him with J Will at like,
and
12.
that's where I'm with Justin.
I think it's gonna be more than that, but I'm curious to see how the other stuff fills in here. Because what does Poku get? Does he get
I
more?
think Poku and Kenny Hustle play 30 minutes. You added up how you want to add it up.
Ooh, wow.
Cut in half. 15.
If that was the case,
I mean,
Like,
25 for Poku and 5 for Kenrich sounds fine to me.
Gosh. I would
29
go more towards like
I'd go 16-14.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, 16-14. 16 for
Okay.
Kenrich, though.
Kenny Hustle is he was a guy that'll make this team a hell of a lot better, and they want him on the floor.
So you're saying
Fine.
14 for Kenny,
Yeah.
16 for Poku?
Flipped.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's see.
So 14 for Poku, 16 for Kenny.
Yep.
And that leaves us with how many minutes left, Silva?
12 between Oof,
Oof.
Kaysen, and Aaron Wiggins.
Oof.
I think only one of those
It's
guys
ridiculous.
plays in a December game, given we've already handed out
Yeah.
minutes to 12 dudes.
True.
As a reminder, Aaron Wiggins
we have
was the-
12 guys getting minutes right now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Jeez.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I
So
just
this
I
would be the
count that.
12.
I mean, yeah, realistically, this is probably where the train stops.
Yeah.
For
But-
an actual game.
But I think we'd all agree that the one person getting these minutes is probably not getting 12, so we have something to allocate.
Correct.
I think, Wiggins, Kaysen, Usman, it's probably a toss-up, depending on the night and the matchup and who they
yeah.
what the analytics say that this guy needs minutes playing against this type. It's
They'll
a
get all
toss-up,
12
so-
minutes depending on the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a good point.
I'm going to say something.
Yes.
God.
So if we give one more guy minutes, that's 12 guys. Feels like a lot. But if we're going to go with 12 guys, I'm kind of on the drop Bertans to 0 and give 2 of these next 3 minutes.
I love,
19 minutes,
fair.
give between Oos, Kaysen, and Wiggins, divide that 19 up and drop Bertans to 0. That's just my argument, but this is a random game, so this could also be the night that Shai doesn't play and freaking Keontae Johnson gets 35 minutes a game, so who knows? But
Okay. I want you to also, just really, really quick, Silva, are you good enough at Excel to tally up
boy.
guard
Absolutely
minutes
not.
versus forward minutes?
Absolutely not.
Because I believe if we go the route Jacob's alluding to, we're giving out like 180 or 240 minutes to guards, which wouldn't be unlike OKC. They like positionless, running a bunch of guards. But
3-guard lineups.
is that
Hold on, Nick. I'll get you a pivot table. Guards, wings, bigs.
you actually pivoting it? Or you just
No, I don't have access to the
This
sheet.
is
Yeah,
the
you guys
shared
do.
document.
It's in the
But I would
document.
have-
You
Oh.
jagaloons.
Now he's like, I actually don't know how to do a pivot table, so
Give me a- I'm
um
just trying to sound smart.
so no, seriously though, like,
Why are people in the comments giving us like
Excel
tutorials right now? You bunch
You
of
guys not put this
nerds.
in Chat GPT.
Can I Photoshop it? I don't know how to use pivot tables.
Nick, I do think you bring up a good point, though, that if like you give a lot of these minutes like Kaysen and Aaron, then you are really racking up the guard minutes. I think the flip side of that coin is we have Josh Giddey in there as a guard.
Yeah.
But like, I think the positions matter a lot more as far as guard, center, forward on the defensive end. And they're going to put Josh like on 3s and 4s. They're going to have Dub on 4s. If Wiggins plays, he's going to play against 3s, 4s, 2s. Like the versatility defensively, I think mitigates that a little bit, but it is still a good point because all those guys are also very thin.
Yeah.
With the exception of Dub, who's jacked AF.
Yep. So how are we doing this?
I need to get a pen and paper out and take some notes on Excel in our comment section here.
Seriously. Amazing.
Well,
so we're giving Bertans 0. Is that what we're actually
doing? We don't have to. I was just proposing an idea.
I'm aligned, Jacob.
The issue is that, like we said, this was a December game. If we're talking about like minutes,
was this like a Christmas present to Davis Bertans?
I mean, December. I can
ho
see
ho ho,
Bertans
mother effer. Here's 7 minutes.
That's a sounder. Please click that.
7 minutes in heaven for Davis Bertans.
Hey, he does get like a bonus if he plays a certain amount of games. Maybe it is a Christmas gift in a way.
It's a Christmas bonus from the.
There's no way he is getting that guaranteed money from
Not
playing. What is it? 75% of the games?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah, he's not getting that.
Sam Presti will cut that man's Achilles if he needs to.
Wow.
Not really.
I say give Bertans 0. Give Oos.
If we gave Bertans 0, how many minutes does that leave left?
19. I can do that math.
I can't see the totals at the bottom.
It's 19. So
19 minutes
between
among 3 players.
Yeah, Oos, Case, and Aaron.
But we're not giving 3 players minutes.
Yes, we are. Because
give 2 players minutes.
This is not a real game.
I was going to give 10 to Wiggins, 9 to Oos.
Hot take. What about
no
taking
minutes
away
for Case
from
and
Poku?
Wallace?
Not in this particular
Poku
game.
And maybe even K-Rich, like Kenny Hustle, taking minutes from each of them and giving them to Case and Wallace.
We're not going to run 14 guys in this game.
They're not. They're probably not even
unless they're winning by 30 or losing by 30.
Okay, so I'm thinking like accumulative at this point in December.
No, this is a game.
This is a single game.
This is a game.
I don't like this.
Taylor, we established this 40 minutes ago.
He's like, that changes all of my
Shai,
answers.
48.
Plus minus is basically a team stat.
I can't tell what's really Taylor whining and what's a sounder at this point.
All right.
So who's not playing?
Ousmane Dieng's not playing.
Ooh, who is that?
Spice, Nick. You're not buying the Summer League hype?
I mean, he's good, but the dude's like, he's still got a long way to go to contribute in the NBA. And then he will contribute this year. There'll be games that are like, wow, this guy looks really good.
I'd almost argue to give Oos the minutes since we're taking the minutes away from Bertans, forward for forward.
That's what I was thinking.
I mean, if we're talking reality, I think those minutes are pulled from Bertans going to Kenny and Poku.
Wow.
Like, don't forget, Kenny's a dude that every single team around the league was offering up a first-round pick for to come play on their contending team in like a 20-minute-a-night kind of role. Like, he's a good player.
Totally
Really
agreed.
good player. And we have him at 16 minutes.
And for the record, I want it to be known that I support Nick and his Poku propaganda tonight. People sleep on Poku.
Poku-ganda.
Nick made fun of me the other day, but damn it, I did at 1 a.m. the other night watch more Poku highlights from last
that
season.
dude put a sock in my mouth tonight. Great for him.
He is going to contribute, damn it.
I agree.
I think Poku is going to be your backup center this year.
Wouldn't shock me. Like, if this was a game and Jay Will didn't play and Poku played a bunch more, wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah.
They played Poku like 30-plus minutes against Brooke Lopez last season.
Yeah.
And it wasn't awful.
Yeah.
against one of the best front courts in the league in Cleveland. Like, he had maybe his best game of the season.
They also had K. Rich playing center and being really damn good at it.
Yeah.
So, like, maybe we should be talking about Jay Will's minutes here.
How do we end the Mexican standoff we're all having in this Excel document?
So what I was going to say is now the time that I remind everyone that Aaron Wiggins was the 6th highest minute getter for this team last year. And we predicted him at 0, and it feels like we're dangerously close to doing it again.
How about
basically it's a lose-lose exercise.
Oh, okay. Silva going rogue in the
I just want to
spreadsheet.
propose something here. Okay. Crazy?
23 for
allocate that between Kenrich and Poku.
3.
Okay,
Split
so how about this? Okay, I'm just proposing a little trade here.
I like that.
20
be more realistic.
Kenny at 20, Poku at 17, Wiggins at 12, Kason at 0,
and Usman at 0,
and Us at 0.
So 0. Maybe they're playing for the blue or something. I don't know.
Wow.
That's what people forget too. Is December is actually like the G League showcase time frame where it's like a lot of these guys are.
Here we go.
Mark always says.
Bringing logic.
Mark always says this has been a planned send off to the G League. This could be an interesting time of the year since it's December.
Maybe that's why Trey Mann has 0. Also, he's in the blue again.
Oh, gosh.
that would be bad.
It would.
For the Mad Ants.
This
my
seems
favorite G League
This
team.
seems like a normal night to me.
All right, Silva, will you read us the spreadsheet in order of
top to bottom? Filter.
Yes, filter it by minutes per game.
Okay.
Do Z to A.
Okay. How about that? Learning.
How about that?
All right, I'll read top to bottom here. We got SGA with 34 minutes, J-Dub 32 minutes, Josh Giddey 31 minutes, Chet with 27 minutes, Lou Dort 26 minutes, Kenny Hustle 20 minutes, Poku 17 minutes, Mitchich 16 minutes, Isaiah Joe 13 minutes, Jay Will 12 minutes, Wiggins 12 minutes. Then you have 6 guys with 0 minutes. And that's Bertans, JRE, Jack White, Usman, Trey Mann, Casey Moss.
Well, that is a spreadsheet.
It is.
It's fine.
11.
Like you said, this could be a game, and it wouldn't shock me. I think being that this is a consensus exercise, like I would personally tweak some things.
What would you personally tweak?
Well, I would personally have Kenny Hustle lower. I would have Aaron Wiggins a little higher. I'd probably have J Will slightly lower. But I mean, we discussed all that. We discussed it all. I think you guys make valid points. I don't think there's anything in here that feels like glaringly wrong. I'm sure we'll look back on this in a year and realize how dumb we were. But I think if anything, this proves what a challenge this exercise is in reality, right? Like trying to decide what that lineup is to run out. Obviously, there's so many other factors in this as well that some probably make it easier, some probably make it harder. But I think it's not an easy exercise to put together, especially once you get past, the top 5 or so.
You guys think Mark lays in bed at night with on his tablet looking at this exact same spreadsheet?
His neon yellow.
Yeah.
They stole it from the Uncontested podcast.
Yeah.
Actually, what I think Mark does at night is he pulls up this live stream and he looks at it and he says, "Oh shit, they did my job for me."
Just copy and paste. Game like 1 through 10. This is going to be the exact minutes breakdown.
I know.
I get that it's one random game that we're pulling out of the schedule. I don't know. Like Kaysen and Usman not getting minutes. Like, I wonder if those guys do get minutes in place of some of these more, I was going to say like veteran guys, but like the most veteran guy on here getting minutes is Shai.
Yeah.
Like that's where
it's weird.
The Mitchich like thoughts come in, and it really is.
It's a lot of mouths to feed.
Yep.
Right. I think what's most likely, like, this is for a random game in December. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of guys like total games for the season go down. Like Justin and Nick were mentioning earlier, like you sit guys a little more often and let other guys play.
Yep. We've seen that from Mark already, where it's almost like you get a stretch of 8 to 10 games where you're gonna get some burn, and you're gonna see what this guy does, and he may up his long-term rotation value, or you may see him in the G League, or see him sparingly. I think you're gonna have to see that, because there's no way to make it work, not even in this exercise.
I think we should post our minutes per game on social media and see how flamed we get.
Well, no one knows the backstory.
Jacob is desperate for engagement.
Clickbait.
It's going to be, why does Kaysen have 0 minutes?
It's exactly.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't think of.
And then they go through the exercise, and it actually makes sense. But
you didn't know what the exercise was till 5 minutes ago.
Some of us are still unsure.
Oh my goodness. All right, you guys have anything else before we get out of here?
Nah. Mitchich is going to be good, though. We'll take this conversation offline, but
I think Nick has a preseason bet brewing.
I think so too.
On Vasily Mitchich. I think it's going to be a bet between Nick and JD.
Well,
Maybe the biggest Mitchich supporter on the pod versus the biggest Mitchich hater on the pod.
Yep.
Well, there's inherent value there as a bettor. If everybody I'm betting against is super low on him, I can make like a really baseline bet and still win it. Because you're so low on the guy that you'll bet anything that he sucks.
They're going to say Mitchich plays in at least 5 games. And JD, nope, I'm taking it.
No shot.
Speaking of bets, before we get out of here, JD, when we get in that Poku draft night recreation?
I'm in the process of trying to get that scheduled. I have a group of friends willing to help, and I gotta figure that out.
We also got to get a game early in the season, whether it's preseason or whatever it may be. For so let's take some charges.
Hey, you say poor Silva? Don't you have to like go into a restaurant and say some embarrassing stuff in front of everybody?
Yeah, that's only one bet though. He has like 2 of them.
I'd argue you have the most embarrassing one, Tayler.
Well,
I would
think
hate
Silva
to take
has some
charges.
embarrassing ones too.
I would hate to take charges in public at Paycom.
For what it's worth, if I were Tayler and JD, who lost some embarrassing bets to Kamiar, I would wait until Kamiar paid off one of his bets before you pay off.
That's
now
right.
We're talking.
There's got to be some equity here.
That means
That's
I need
right.
to sign a deal with Kamiar off the record saying that he needs to never pay his off, meaning that I'll never have to pay mine off.
So we'll have some more bet
mine.
payoffs coming for you guys coming shortly. I am still waiting for it to get a little bit cooler outside to make Justin run his 1K.
Thank you.
I don't want 3 young children in Texas to grow up fatherless. So
That's so thoughtful.
you're welcome. All right. If we don't have anything else, I think that will be all for us for tonight. We'll be back again Wednesday. I believe Wednesday is going to be the 2-man show with Tayler and I. I think everybody else is out on Wednesday, so it'll be an adventure. Come join us. See what the hell we talk about. I don't know.
No one knows.
We'll figure it out then. And then next Sunday, as always, got some cool stuff planned as we get about a month and a half away from preseason basketball in Oklahoma City. We're working on some really fun stuff for you guys. So make sure you're following The Uncontested on all social media channels here on YouTube and everywhere you download your podcast at. We'll see you guys in a few days. Until then, enjoy the beginning of your week. And as always, Thunder up.